What's going on? All right. So, I'm looking. What is going on with my camera? That was looking a little funky. So, not a ton of news, but some good news at least. So we have that to talk about. I'm excited to talk about the fact that Crawford and Porter have finally signed. So that is actually going through. That's all set up. And let's get into some of the other stuff, and then we'll talk about that. Okay. So, number one was Kambosos hasn't agreed to move to, the date, which is good. We shouldn't be moving that freaking fight again. They move that fight again, it's going to be ridiculous, man. Oh, I'm so done with fucking John Jones. I've been done with John. I'll be honest with you. I've been done with him. And I know some people are like, well, it's like, no, man. I'm just over it. I'm over it. Yeah, my everything's running like it's in I don't know, 12 FPS. It's weird. So this is good news overall. I'm glad they're not going to be moving this date. They shouldn't be moving this date. We really need to kind of get things going. Oh, dude, John Jones, garbage. So that's good. I did hear that Kambosos was asking for more money, which is not good. And I doubt he'll get it. I think he realizes this is his big payday if he's going to be getting it. Next up is Devin Haney, actually. And with Haney, this is kind of interesting. It's kind of a good thing, bad thing. And it's good because if you beat Oscar De La Hoya, everyone pretty much cheer you. I think you get some brownie points, especially with Dana White. He is in a weird spot right now. The bad thing is with Haney is that if you destroy Oscar De La Hoya, let's say this fight happens. It's not going to happen, but if it did happen, let's say you destroy Oscar De La Hoya, he's never going to want to do business with you again. So that idea of Haney fighting Ryan Garcia, probably not going to happen. So it's kind of I don't understand it, but I do. Hold on one second. Let me try to see if I can fix my camera for a quick second. Weird. See if I can do that. So now my bitrate just dropped to nothing. Let me see if I can fix my... Why is my camera acting so weird? Come on. I know why. So I kind of think it's an interesting idea in general, but I just don't know. I just don't feel like you're not really going to win anything out of it. No one expects really Oscar to seriously be, fighting at this current age that he's in and making a big deal of it. So this overall, I'm like, Jojo and Garcia are fighting. So yeah, it leaves Haney in a very weird spot. I'd love to see him fight Loma. Love to see that. Not gonna happen, but it'd be nice. Okay, next one. Moving up to welter. Conor Benn wants... Chris Algieri, I get that fight. But, Victor Ortiz, I don't think he really wants that fight. He can say he wants that fight. I don't think he actually wants that fight. I just don't. I just don't think it's what he really wants. Because, I mean, Chris Algieri, I get that. Oh, he wants like old Victor, like old Victor Ortiz. I don't even know if he wants that, man. Like he wants an older fighter. He does, like, Chris Algieri's old, Victor Ortiz is old. Like, he literally is asking for every old fighter there is. He's not. I mean, I get it, I guess. To me, it doesn't make much sense. He's not ready. I don't think he's. I mean, fight a top 10. Fight someone. Ugas would kill him, I bet. But it's just like, come on, dude. I'm sick and tired of, like, the whole hype behind him, especially after last fight. So I'm certainly for it. Like, Ugas did crazy good job against Manny. So the big news here tonight is this right here. November 20th, we are getting Terrence Crawford versus Sean Porter. Now, looking at this fight, I'm going to lean towards Terrence Crawford. But Sean Porter is going to make it a really, really shitty night. Like, he's going to make this such a tough fight. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. I think this, I'm super hyped for this too, Shrek. Like, I'm super pumped for this. Porter is a absolute mess to deal with sometimes. So I think this is actually, this might be one of the best fights, you know, freaking Crawford's had in a while. You know? And we have a real sense of how Sean Porter looked compared to Earl, like when he fought Earl Spence. So this will give us a little bit, you know how we like to play those games, general sense of what things might look like if current Crawford were to fight current Spence. Well, he is a bit overrated. I think for pound lists, I think people have put him up way too high. I think a big thing for Crawford, especially, is his resume has just been very lacking recently, in particular. He's still a great talent. I think he's still great, but that's why I don't get people putting him above guys like Usyk or Josh Taylor. I mean, some of these ESPN ones have him like number one, and it's just like I don't understand it. I never understood that, really. Not recently, anyways. Moving up to what Caleb Plant's talking about now. Caleb Plant is already talking after what he's gonna do. And I always wonder why guys do this. I mean, you're going to be fighting Canelo. And then you're talking about already fighting Benavidez and Charlo? Like, what? Why would you do that? Like, I don't think that's going to go very well for you. You know? I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, Plant versus any of those guys is fine. I'm happy for it. I'm all for it. Sign me up. But the idea that Caleb Plant's already talking past Canelo is a little bit much. Like, you're going in against pound for pound best in the world. Might want to focus a little bit more on that. I know. He's trying to sell fights. He's trying to sell himself, really. This is his moment to shine. So, yeah, in general, I'm just like, I don't understand this a little bit. You know? You're rooting for him even just for the upset? Oh my god, the upset would be insane. After the Usyk fight, people are like getting a little nervous. Granted, Usyk had a fairly decent track record to support it. Well, the thing is, Shrek, you'll be numb to it for a little while, and then what will end up happening is that you'll just get like pure, unadulterated, like just every fight's so obvious to pick. And then you just kind of like, you know, you're like, oh gosh, I haven't seen anything interesting in a while. And then boom, another upset. And you're like, oh my God. I know, Fury being 273. I'm not surprised. That's a good weight for him. You know? Moving up again in weight. Now, I'm just glad, speaking of Top Rank. Yeah, back to Top Rank, exactly. Beterbiev, I'm just glad that he's fighting. Dude's getting too old. I believe he's like 36 years old. He needs to be fighting way more regularly. He just doesn't have that much time. Marcus Brown is gonna, I don't know how this is gonna play out, but I think Beterbiev is gonna win this, no problem. But I think Marcus Brown will make it a little bit interesting. With Beterbiev, I think the big question here is, how does he look? He hasn't really been in the ring in a while. And you know who's going to be watching this fight. Canelo's 1,000% going to be watching this fight. He's going to be watching this like a hawk. Because he wants to see how Beterbiev is looking. If he feels like he's weak and he can go right after him, he's going to. So, I think this will be a good fight in general just to see where he's at. We saw Bivol, you know, and how that played out his last fight. He looked really strong at the beginning, faded a little bit, got hit with some good shots. So, this will kind of dictate a little bit more what's going on in light heavy. This fight right here will give us a good sense of how do the champions at light heavyweight kind of stack up right now. And if they look vulnerable, expect absolutely after the planned fight for Canelo to go after one of them. At least one of them. So, especially a guy that's up there in age. So, couple things to note about the AJ. New news for AJ. He says he's going to fight Tyson Fury or Wilder without the belts. Not only won't have the hype, why would they? I could see Fury doing it because it'd be like a massive heavyweight showdown in the UK. Wilder, maybe if he loses to, you know, Fury, it's a good payday to fight Joshua. I don't know. It's not going to have the hype. I'm going to be excited for it because big heavyweights smashing each other is awesome. But it is one of those things. I think if Wilder loses, fighting AJ, and obviously AJ, they're talking about AJ fighting Usyk in February. So if that's the case, you know, not the best timing for Wilder, but it could still happen. But, you know, if that did line up, let's say it somehow lined up. Well, the best part about it is that Wilder versus AJ would be a huge payday for both of them. Wilder versus Andy Ruiz. Some people have talked about that. It's okay. Not as exciting. Obviously, it being PBC fighters, it's a lot easier to make. I just don't see anyone. I mean, Dillian White versus Wilder would be a huge fight and a great fight. I just don't know if White would want to do that, because White's probably waiting for that. I mean, to get his chance at a belt. So, you bet your balls AJ's reign over the division is over. Yeah, I'd say that's probably your balls are pretty safe. I mean, it's just the big thing with this is that making deals with these guys has been so difficult. You know, it's so tough to get these deals done with these guys. And that's why, like, AJ and Wilder, heavyweight division is the top heavy. Yeah, I mean, it's very top heavy. It's absolutely top heavy. No question. I absolutely agree with that. And to your point, it's like, we got AJ, we got Wilder, we got Fury, obviously. We got Dillian White is probably the next one there in line. Then we got Andy Ruiz, like, and then it slides. I mean, obviously Usyk. Sorry, Usyk's up there now. It's Usyk, Fury. Like, the top 5 guys are all really solid. Usyk, Fury, Wilder, AJ. You know. Like, the top 5 guys are solid, but I don't know how many of them are actually going to cross each other's paths after this. I think if Fury beats Wilder, which is what my prediction would be, he absolutely wants to fight Usyk. A small, undersized heavyweight who moves well, but he moves pretty decent too. Then, to kind of match after that, it's like Wilder and AJ, I both feel like neither one of them wants to be the B side, although it would be probably Wilder would be the B side. I think that's pretty fair to say. And then AJ, I mean, talking money wise, AJ's going to bring in a good fan base. Wilder doesn't have a giant fan base, but he has a solid one. You're going to do it in the US, in the same country. Could happen. But I just feel like Dillian White's going to be like, I'm demanding, I need my title shot. I'm going to keep fighting 40-year-old men until I get it. You know? White versus AJ, I would be very curious to see that fight. AJ's gotten better, but White has gotten better. I think it'd be a really good British fight. Jarrell Miller's, so he popped, obviously hot, initially. And so he's got basically stowed away and everyone dropped him. No promoters want him anymore. So he initially popped hot. He's popped hot multiple times. And so it's just like, he's popped hot, I believe, like 4 times. He popped hot once for kickboxing. He popped hot another time. The last time he popped hot, he just dropped his New York license so he could fight in Vegas. And then this with the AJ fight when he popped hot, like I think promoters just dropped him. They said we don't. Eddie Hearn dropped him. Bob Arum talked about picking him up briefly. And then just like, no. And I think the other side of it, he's kind of been blackballed to a certain degree, because think about it. You're a manager for a fighter, right? You have a heavyweight fighter. Let's say you have like Adam Kelnacki or something like that, right? Are you going to put your fighter in with a guy that has been known to be a drug cheat, like Jarrell Miller? Big Baby Miller, no one's going to want to do that. No way. Exactly. No way. You're going to say, no way, I'm not doing that deal. Oh, we'll give you X amount of money. Fuck off. I'm not doing it. So I think that's where he's just been frozen out now. Because of what happened, it was so bad. I mean, he popped top for fucking everything, so he really screwed that up. Wilder versus AJ might be, yeah, I mean, I think Wilder versus AJ is probably the most tantalizing of the fights. Tyson Fury's not going to want to fight AJ unless there's some reason he has to. Either there's a situation where, hey, I'm going to fight you because I want to be done after I fight you. I want to make a shit ton of money and be gone. You know, that's the only thing I can think of. Other than that, AJ doesn't bring much to the... I mean, he has a good fan base. He's going to bring money to the table. Not going to bring a belt to the table. And for Fury, you know, how long... I mean, he's going to have a fight with Wilder. He's going to have, after that, arguably, a fight with Usyk if Usyk beats AJ again, which he probably should. And then he's going to have a second fight with probably Usyk. Oh my god. That's funny, Tallcap. So, after he's already done that, let's just put that all in perspective in terms of timeline. Usyk and Fury, if they fight, it's probably going to be summertime. Because if right now it's AJ and Usyk fighting in most likely February is what I'm hearing right now. Give it 6 months. You're looking August, September time frame for Fury versus Usyk. They fight. Then they're going to want to possibly, probably do it again. There'll be a rematch clause. That'll be the beginning of the next year after that. Closer to January or February again. I mean, we're talking February of 2023 age. That's a long time for someone to wait. Shrek. So I love the idea of it. I think Wilder would make more sense. Fury is just going to be booked. He's going to be booked. If I'm AJ and I lose to Usyk again, you have a couple options. You can take an easy fight. You can take easy fight for AJ. I mean, there's some either way. You could do the rematch with Joseph Parker. That'd be an easy fight. Maybe have a trilogy with Ruiz, maybe. I don't know if people would be super into that. The easy man I see the man that would be probably like kind of made for a guy like AJ. Chisora. Because he's like so well beloved in the UK boxing scene. Give the old man another shot, you know. Could be kind of fun. The build up would, just let Chisora talk. He'll sell the whole fight. Hell, actually, the perfect fighter in terms of style would be AJ Joe Joyce. That would be the perfect fight for AJ if he loses. Because Joe Joyce moves slower than a fucking glacier. And he's easy to hit. And I don't know if you guys watched my latest video on AJ and if he can win against Usyk. I just did on YouTube, but I went into that whole thing talking about AJ and his punch output and his actual landed percentages. Oh, thank you, Shrek. And one of the things that AJ is really good at is when he has a fairly stationary target, his hit rate is above 30%. Like Pulev, it was like 37%. Takam, it was like 33%. So throw in Joe Joyce. People were saying before, like, no way Usyk could beat Fury. I don't know about that now. I think Fury is more complicated than AJ. And Fury does that thing. He does that one thing. Joseph Parker is having a rematch with Derek Chisora. So they're going to run that back, which, you know, should be fairly entertaining as long as Chisora can not gas out completely. So not bad. But that's the thing with the one tactic that Fury uses that freaking pisses me off, and he does it all the time. His whole top of his half body on top of him. And he does it to tire them out. It's a fatigue strategy that he does. So against Usyk, something like that, I mean, it's going to be really tough to tire a guy out like that. And we've seen Fury have issues with smaller guys. Steve Cunningham that knocked him down. I mean, Otto Wallin is decent size for a heavyweight. Not built super much like a heavyweight, but I mean, we've seen Fury have ups and downs in terms of consistency. So I'd be kind of curious about it all. I don't think AJ's going to, the big thing that I am going to say, AJ's not getting another shot at the belt. After the rematch with Usyk, if he loses that, he's not getting another shot at the belt for a minimum year plus. Whatever happened to Steve Cunningham? He talks a lot about Fury cheating, and he doesn't do anything anymore. You know? Yeah, exactly. White made Fury cry during sparring, allegedly. Dubois better than Joyce. I think the potential for Dubois is better because Joyce is what he is. Like you're never gonna make Dubois. I mean, you're never gonna make Joe Joyce better than what he is. So Dubois being the age he is, which is like 22, 23 years, like he's a fairly young guy. Dubois could end up being, by the time Dubois is the same age as Joe Joyce, he could be substantially better than what Joe Joyce is now. So let's keep that in mind. Joe Joyce is a finished product. He's never getting anything better. You know? Dubois, on the other hand, has a long road ahead of him and a long career ahead of him. So there's a lot of potential for Dubois. I think against Joe Joyce, Dubois really, I had Dubois winning. I should say I predicted Dubois to win. I was really surprised that Dubois' head movement was just like non-existent. Yeah, Joyce is 35 and only has 13 fights. Imagine what, I mean, Dubois has more fights than Joe Joyce already does as a pro. So we'll see. And the other thing I really like about Dubois in general, and this is one thing I've talked about a lot. Every time I bring him up, I always bring this up. Dubois is a natural big heavyweight. Like physically, his physical build is big. He doesn't have to lift weights to bulk up. Like AJ bulked up, right? He's a dude that really kind of got bigger, stronger, had to bulk up. Daniel Dubois is just naturally big. He's naturally 235 pounds, almost 240 pounds. Big, strong, heavyweight. That's just who it's, yeah, all natural. And when you're all natural like that, you are prone to be less robotic. So, you know, Joe Joyce is too. Joe Joyce is like natural build. Like he doesn't, Look at Joe Joyce and tell me that dude lifts weights. He does not look that way at all. He's just a big, heavy dude that hits really freaking hard for what he, his punches it looks so slow on, when you're watching him, but White or Ruiz, I'm actually going to lean a little bit towards White on that because Ruiz gets hit too easily. If Chris Arreola, like 40 plus years old, can knock you down, if Chris Arreola can knock you down, Dillian White only has to land one left hook and you're asleep, which is also I believe the punch that knocked him down when he fought AJ. So I mean, the big thing with AJ in just the heavyweight division, by the way, in case you're wondering, AJ's already signed the clause. So it's activated. It's already activated. The rematch is already set to go. It's not like if it maybe kind of sort. No, it's happening. Which is good. That's a good thing. We don't have to sit there and wonder for the next month if that fight's going to happen, if that's what's going to happen going forward. AJ will lose again. I believe so. I believe that. I absolutely believe that. I did a whole video on can AJ beat Usyk, and this was my thoughts. Okay, could AJ beat Usyk? It's possible. It's possible. You'd have to do a few things. Hey man, Favor, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. Well, you're in the right place because that's all we do here. So, could AJ beat Usyk was my whole video on it on YouTube. And my big thing is, yeah, he could. He could possibly beat Usyk. The way I recommended AJ trying to go about beating Usyk is to change a few things. You can't change a lot. Number one, in the video I showed how Usyk reacted to body shots, which he did not like getting hit to the body by AJ. And if you're dealing with someone that has really good, fast, quick feet and has crazy head movement, why are you trying to jab him to the head? By the way, in case you're wondering, AJ threw 450 jabs in the Usyk fight. He landed 51 of them. Why you would ever try to purely just jab to the head on Usyk doesn't make sense. You got to change that. Go to the body, slow him down. Okay? So that's what you got to do. The next thing I recommended that AJ would do besides that is people are basically saying like a couple things. He's got to let his hands go. He threw plenty of punches in the last fight. The other one's like, he needs to go back to that wrecking ball kind of style and just try to go after him. I'm like, no, he doesn't. Because if he gets heavy, he's going to get gassed, dude. He's going to get gassed. Oh, yes. I believe what you are speaking of is this. Can Yoka make... I think... I want to see some more from... I want to see him step up. He's got to step up. I can't take Yoka serious until he actually, steps it up a little bit. His big... That would have been his massive payday. We were just saying the big thing with that is... We were saying Tyson Fury's booked for the next year plus. If AJ were to fight Fury, it would probably be in summertime of 2023. So that's how far away AJ is to fight Tyson Fury. I actually said that's basically where we're at, because he's gonna get done with Wilder, and then he's gonna fight Usyk twice. This is gonna be a rematch clause, so that's gonna book him up completely. Next year's gone. Usyk and AJ are fighting in February, so that means Fury and Usyk are gonna fight maybe in the summer if we're lucky. And then they're not gonna fight until February again to have the rematch. So AJ has a long time in between. And if you ask me, the man you should fight is Wilder. I mean, if he wants a tough fight, big money, tough fight. If he wants an easy fight, go get Joe Joyce. Go get Joe Joyce to sign, and you'll crush him. Joe Joyce is such easy, light picking for AJ. You know? AJ would absolutely destroy a come forward, no head movement, just slow as molasses fighter like Joe Joyce. It'd be easy for him. 32, I mean, they're all about that age. Fury's, I think, 31, 32. Wilder's 34, you know. Oh, if AJ were to lose to Joe Joyce, I would be completely stunned. And I mean completely stunned. Like, almost as stunned as I was when I thought Otto Von Lien almost, I thought for a while he was going to stop Tyson Fury during that fight. Because of the cut, I'm like, oh my God, Otto Von Lien's going to fucking beat Fury right now. I can't believe this shit right now. You hello? Are we really? So, I'd be shocked. So, because some people showed up a little bit later, we'll just touch on a few quick items again, very briefly. And then we'll have some fun. We have one really fun kind of topic. One is Devin Haney talking about fighting Oscar De La Hoya at a catchweight. I said this would be entertaining at best, but bad for Devin Haney, because if he goes in there and does what I expect him to do to Oscar De La Hoya, goodbye Ryan Garcia fight. Because Oscar, after getting embarrassed, is not going to want to at all make deals with Devin Haney. So, kind of a fun idea. I think it's not going to happen, though. Big one being, we're finally getting to see Crawford in the ring again. Thank God we're going to get to see Crawford. Crawford's been out of the ring for way too long. Like, criminally too long. And that's what makes me think that Sean Porter absolutely has a chance in this fight. If this was Crawford right after the Kavaliauskas fight, I'd be like, nah, I don't think so. See, looks, because Crawford adapted and, you know, had that great finish. But after seeing Sean Porter fight Spence and give him an absolute handful, this right here, this could be upset city right here. This could be an absolute upset. Some ring rust sprinkled in there. Teal fight's still happening from what I understand. Because it got moved around, and now it's the freaking date for this fight. It's on a Tuesday. Way to go, Triller. And then Triller wanted to move it again, and Tio said, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not moving it again. Yeah, I know. Tio fight is technically October 5th. And funny you mentioned that, because we actually just got confirmation that it's not going to move again. It's on a Tuesday. A weird Tuesday timing. Oh, yes, absolutely. We're streaming on Tuesday. So normally Monday and Tuesday is when I do video creation. And that's the same week as Fury versus Wilder 3. So I'm going to be creating videos for that obvious fight. It just might mean I have to spend a little bit more time on Monday, because normally I do like half my video editing on or creation on Monday, and then I edit more on Tuesday. I would probably just move stuff around a little bit more, because there's no way I'm not going to stream during this. No way. Got to stream during this. Then we'd have Fury versus Wilder 3 on Saturday. The next weekend, Estrada versus Chocolatito 3. Amazing. Back-to-back trilogies. And then we have Herring versus Stevenson, which is an amazing fight. Then White versus Valine. Not so amazing, but kind of intriguing. A little bit intriguing. And then we have the Canelo versus Plant fight, which is like a monster fight, man. Dude, I love Chocolatito too. I remember watching Chocolatito like way back, and I was just like, this guy's style is super fun. Super fun. Jake Paul in talks with Anderson Silva. Jake's gonna die. Yeah. I would not recommend that for his health. I would not recommend that at all for his health. So this is the last little bit, because I just don't have, I mean, there's just not a ton of news this week. And with my camera issue right now, it's bugging the hell out of me. There we go. Woodley got the tattoo. It's terrible. It looks like something that would be scrolled on a middle school desk. You know what I mean? Like, it looks like some kind of kid on... Manny Pacquiao did retire, yes. We talked about that, I think, about a week ago. Because he basically said, I mean, as soon as he announced himself for president, it's like, he's done. What's the worst part, Trek? Is it the eye? Or is it the love? Jake won't give him the rematch. That is probably... That's criminal. Now, some people would be like, why would you get it on your hand? Right? Like, why would you get it on a finger? It's actually not a bad spot to get it from this standpoint. That obviously Woodley's going to want to get this, like, removed. He doesn't want to have this forever in his life. He just wants to get the rematch, get paid, and then, you know, whatever. Your hand in particular is one of the worst spots to tattoo, because of the amount of, you know, how much use it is. I know, the fact that it's the middle finger, Jim, is like the best part. So it will probably naturally wear to a certain degree, quite a bit being on the hands. And it'll definitely lighten, so it'll make it easy for removal, like super easy. Whereas you get it like on a meaty part of your body, like that's going to stick around. That's going to be really hard to get rid of in comparison. So I think that's actually pretty funny. The fact that it's the middle finger, the fact that he did get it is kind of mind-blowing. Like, I thought he'd just like swallow his pride and be like, screw this, I'm not going to do it, whatever. Apparently I'm wrong. Apparently I'm wrong on this. So, yeah. He got it. And, yeah, it's absolutely real. The love is in pen. You're serious? Oh, dude. Are you serious? This looks pretty real to me. Let me blow it up. Let me get really big. I don't know. The redness around the eye and Jake Paul looks pretty damn real. Oh, he just put I blank Jake Paul. Go on his Twitter. I will. So did he just, so he just put the love in with pen? Why would he do that? I mean, what the? That doesn't make any sense. I think so. You could put it in hate, maybe. I hate Jake Paul. 4 letters probably could fit there. Let me double check. We do some internet sleuthing here. There he is right there on Twitter. Jake responded saying, I love Jake. He's like, I love you too. Actually, I will show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Rather than just talking about it, I'll show you how Jake actually responded to this. We get the audio for you guys. Hold on. How did I switch my audio source? Yeah.
No way did a grown-ass man just get a tattoo that says, I love Jake Paul. This is my official response to Tyron Woodley getting the tattoo.
Jeez, Jake, take a little bit of time.
Can I grab those cheeks now, puppy?
Okay, let's see. Where is the official tattoo? There it is. Okay. So Tyrone retweeted World Star. Okay, here. Okay, that's legit. And you are right. He did pen in the love part. So the I in Jake Paul is absolutely real. Absolutely real. That's wild, dude. I couldn't imagine getting that tattoo. I could not imagine getting that tattoo. That's just bonkersville. I mean, dude. The fact he did it just blows my mind. All right. So I got to fix my camera. Actually, I'm exhausted. I'm going to go watch Squid Game, which if you haven't seen that, go check that out on Netflix. We will be live on Friday, guys. So thank you guys for stopping by. Classic fight night on Friday. So that will be super fun. I don't know what fighter we're going to do that night. We've been doing a bunch of Manny Pacquiao and stuff like that, so we got to figure out like what fighter we want to do. If you're not part of the Discord, join the Discord. We'll figure it out. But we'll have more conversation. Hagler. We did Hagler Hearns. We haven't done a ton of Hagler, have we? We'll do Hagler. That's a good one. Jim, I like that. I don't think we've done all of Hagler's fights. We've just done the Hagler Hearns one. We did a whole Duran night. One night. We've done Pacquiao night. We've done Tyson night. We've done, I can't even count how many. I think we're up to like Classic Fight Night 12 now, or 13 or something like that. So we kind of like mix it around or whatever. We gotta do a Chavez night. We haven't done an official Chavez night. We've watched Chavez, Whitaker, and stuff like that. We gotta do a Sweet Pea night. We still have a bunch of them to do. But join the Discord, and we actually have a section where you can like suggest fights and different things to watch for Classic Fight Night, as always. Yeah, we did a Duran night. But he's part of the Four Horsemen, so. Lennox Lewis, we did. Oh, I never showed the Lennox Lewis video, did I? We did Gotti Ward, where we did all the Gotti Ward fights. I never showed the. I don't know if we've done a Lennox Lewis night. I don't know. We've done so freaking many of them, but I've started doing it now where we just pick like one fighter and just showcase them for the night, because we were at the first 6 Classic Fight Nights. We were just like jumping around. It was like, oh, Thor, how about this one? How about that one? How about this one? How about that one? We just picked out a million of them. We've done, I think Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson, I think we've done. But some other Lennox Lewis I've watched. I mean, Lennox Lewis is a really good one, especially if we do the Rockman, where he lost and then he wins. Or Oliver McCall and Lennox Lewis. That was the most bizarre moment ever in like boxing. So that'd be pretty fun. We never did Tyson versus Lewis. We could do that. We'll do a Lewis night. We gotta do that. We gotta do it. Sugar Ray. We've shown some Sugar Ray fights, especially Sugar Ray and Duran, but we haven't done all of them. We could do Sugar and I don't think we've shown Tommy Hearns and Sugar Ray. That'd be a good one. But we got to do a bunch of them. That's why we do it every Friday, so we can just pick different fighters and have a good time. Guys, I will be back on Tito and Oscar. Oh, God. We will be back. McNeely. Oh, Jesus. We will be back on Friday. Same time. It'll be like 9 p.m. Eastern time. We'll do like 4 hours of nothing but classic fight night. So be here for that. Join the Discord if you guys want to talk boxing or make other suggestions like this. Absolutely. I'm going to fix my camera so it doesn't look like I'm in like 12 FPS for some reason. I don't know why it's doing that. It's never done that to me before. And with that said, guys, I will talk to you later. Thank you for stopping by. It's been awesome talking with you guys tonight. And Jim and G-Fig, thank you so much for joining the conversation tonight. Really appreciate it. Have a good one, guys.